We have a possible source for the explosive diarrhea caused by cyclosporiasis. I'm Dr. Frida, and I'll give you that update.
Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me just when I got y'all eating healthy, this sucker took over? What is this? Cyclospora. And apparently there's an outbreak. And here are 4 ways to continue to get your healthy foods in without worrying about explosive diarrhea.
Cyclospora is no joke, so I decided to make a list of fast food chains that may serve teleform produce. Coming in at number 1.
Okay, so let me make sure that I'm getting this correct. I can't eat processed foods because it has too many microplastics and it's going to give me cancer because of the chemicals. Okay, no worries. I'll just eat lettuce. Oh, nope, can't have the lettuce now, no produce, because I'm gonna get explosive diarrhea.
The FDA said that Taylor Farms' Cyclospora test was actually a false positive. And I'm confused because that means that the source of the outbreak is still unknown.
Have you ever looked at a salad and thought, ooh, this thing is about to absolutely destroy my weekend? No? Well, welcome to Cyclospora. Welcome back to another episode of Nature is Lit. And lately, everybody has been going crazy about the Cyclospora outbreak. But do you even know what it really is?
All right, so unfortunately, a lot of you, including some of my close personal friends, have been catching this parasite bug that's been hiding out in a lot of our produce. I'm going to show you this simple remedy that can help you if you do happen to catch it, okay?
If you want to avoid the Cyclospora outbreak connected to Taylor Farms, Taco Bell is not the only restaurant you should stop eating at.
Thousands of people across the US are falling ill from a parasite that's causing severe diarrhea, and investigators are still trying to find the source behind it. So let's get into it.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite holistic coach, Desiree. Everyone's been asking me, and it's time to talk about the cyclosporiasis outbreak that's happening in the US starting now, and it's getting bigger and it's getting crazy. The elderly, pregnant women, and people with autoimmune diseases are very high risk for this parasite.
Imagine you're an older adult or a pregnant woman or somebody living with a weakened immune system. I mean, a single meal that looks perfectly healthy, that looks okay, that looks just fine, could leave you battling days of severe illness, dehydration and dangerous complications. Now, that's exactly why this growing cyclospora outbreak is getting so much attention, and it's really worth it to pay attention to this. Yes, anyone can become infected, but these vulnerable groups, these vulnerable people, may face, a much higher risk of serious consequences. And that's why everyone needs to take this outbreak seriously, not to brush it off. Now, in this video, you will hear advice and practical tips shared by doctors, health professionals, and other Black creators discussing this outbreak. But remember, these are suggested ways to help reduce your risk, while investigators, health experts, continue searching for the source. So let's take a closer look at what they are saying and what you should know. If this is your first time, please subscribe if you like, because in this channel we discuss more of racism issues. Those are the topics, so if you are interested in that, you may like. Otherwise, don't subscribe if you are not in this. Let's just watch the video, and I'll see you later for more breakdown.
Cyclospora is no joke, so I decided to make a list of fast food chains that may serve teleform produce. Coming in at number 1, Taco Bell. The FDA has identified shredded iceberg lettuce as the confirmed ingredients linked to the illness. Number 2 is the restaurant that all the kids love, McDonald's. McDonald's has a long-term produce supplier with Taylor Farm. Number 3, Chipotle Mexican Grill. They confirmed that they do get produce from Taylor Farm, but they also said that their ingredients aren't tied to the outbreak. Number 4, Burger King. Number 5, Subway. Number 6, Wendy's. Number 7, KFC. Number 8, Pizza Hut. Number 9, IHOP. And number 10, Denny's. Now, this doesn't mean every single location gets products from Taylor Farm, but these are chains that have been publicly reported to source produce from Taylor Farm. As of today, there has been almost 2,000 cases of Cyclospora in 9 states. And these are the states. At the end of the day, you deserve to know where your food is coming from.
Okay, so let me make sure that I'm getting this correct. I can't eat processed foods because it has too many microplastics and it's going to give me cancer because of the chemicals. Okay, no worries. I'll just eat lettuce. Oh, nope, can't have the lettuce now, no produce, because I'm gonna get explosive diarrhea. Not on my watch. Okay, so how about the carnivore diet? Nope, you can't even eat the meat now because it's a listeria breakout. Okay. Now about a water fast, ladies and gentlemen. Nope. because it's E. coli in the water. And best believe I'm not sucking the air that's outside because it's heavily polluted. So America, what can I eat? What can I eat? What can we eat? Because it's almost like all of them programs, all them checks and balances, them regulations, the USDA and the FDA were important. It's almost like we're just fucking around and finding out now. I'm gonna need a solution by lunchtime. I'm going to need to have a fix for lunch because I can no longer go hungry. I'm trying to eat and I'm trying to be cute. And explosive diarrhea is not on my list of things to do or to deal with. America, you better figure it out. You got 4 hours. I'm stressed.
And here are 4 ways to continue to get your healthy foods in without worrying about explosive diarrhea. Let's go. Number 1, don't forget about the frozen fruits and vegetables. I'm not talking about the ones that you bought and froze yourself. That's cool. If you do that, good on you. I'm talking about the ones you get in the freezer section. For some reason, people seem to think that if it's in the freezer section, it's suboptimal. But here's the thing. A lot of times, the fruits and vegetables in the freezer section are usually quite optimal. They're picked at the right time, flash frozen, and last for an extensive amount of time without being, sitting on a truck going from one side of the country to another, then sitting on a grocery produce section for you to buy. And here's the thing, in the history of Cyclospora outbreaks that we know about, they've never affected frozen fruits and vegetables. Not to say it can't, but we just don't have any evidence of this. Now, it's not because it kills the parasite. The freezing does not kill the parasite, but this may be a safer option. And if you want to be extra safe, get the frozen food and cook it. Which brings me to my next point. Cook your vegetables. Back in the day, when they started cooking vegetables, it's primarily because it was cooking off the bad stuff, okay? And now we got the raw vegans and everybody thinks that you gotta eat your food raw. No, this is what cooking is for. In fact, cooking will actually unlock a different set of nutrients, okay, than you can get with the raw produce. Most importantly, for this, cooking is gonna kill this guy. So whenever you get a chance, go ahead and cook it. The spinach, the broccoli, the everything. Cook it. That's gonna help. Next, go ahead and peel the vegetables, okay? If you have an opportunity to slice off the skin, carve off the skin, peel off the skin, go ahead and do that. You could be removing the cyclospora and making that meal a little healthier. In fact, there's all kinds of stuff that you can be peeling. Bananas, carrots, cucumbers, zucchini, okay? Potatoes, sweet potato. You get them out the ground, you wash them, you peel it. You are still able to eat healthy when you take out the skin that may be harboring the parasite. Next, go on ahead and just wash it, okay? Please wash it. Now is the time to wash it. It's not time for the debate as to whether it need to be washed or not, whether it's pre-washed, triple washed. I need you to wash it. And wash it good. Rub in there every little crevice that you can. Let the water run on it. They say, does the vinegar help? Not so much. The studies do not show that the baking soda or the vinegar makes a difference. But if it's going to make you wash it longer, do what you got to do. Just don't put no false hope in it. And make sure you're trying other methods to stay safe. Hey, I still want you to eat healthy, but I want you to be healthy too. Because this guy got to go. Toodles.
So in a nutshell, I'm just going to put it out there. This means that our fresh produce in the U.S. has been hit with some water that contains human feces. Yes, that's exactly what's going on when it comes to this outbreak. That's straight to the point. The reason this is so serious and something I care about a lot is because this is actually preventing people and discouraging people from eating healthy, and we cannot let that happen. So when I say it affects fresh produce, I mean all of it. Lettuce, spinach, even our guacamoles and our cilantros that contain fresh produce, our fruits, our strawberries, everything that we love and everything that I stand for on this account, that's what it's affecting. But here's what I will say. Cooking and heating your fresh produce at least 158 degrees or more actually kills this parasite. So that's the good news. Whole, uncut fresh produce with a firm outer peel is actually safe as well. So I'm talking bananas, melons, lemons, orange. That's actually safe, but you still have to use precaution. I would recommend using a vegetable peeler, something that you can actually peel it off before you actually take it in and eat it. I also want to say that our frozen fruit and veggies are safe. So when you're at the store, opt for frozen over fresh right now. And because you're opting for frozen, it's very important that you make sure that it's no added sugar and no sodium involved, okay? Last thing I want to say is that the Cyclospora parasite needs a wet and damp environment to live. So it cannot survive on our dry grains, our dry whole food. You're safe with dry rice. You're safe with dry beans. Anything dry, you are safe. I hope this video helps you. If you have any questions, I'm still doing my research every single day to make sure that my community here can stay safe. If you have any questions, please comment below.
The FDA said that Taylor Farms' Cyclospora test was actually a false positive. And I'm confused because that means that the source of the outbreak is still unknown. And so then, how was it ever linked to Taco Bell's lettuce specifically? Why was Taco Bell ever under investigation specifically out of all of the places where Taylor Farms sends out their lettuce? So I'm confused as to how it could be linked to Taco Bell if Taylor Farms received a false positive, meaning that their food actually isn't contaminated. So that means it literally could not have come from Taco Bell. Isn't that interesting to think about? Like how easily they just put the blame on Taco Bell. But like if Taylor Farms was found to have a false positive for Cyclospora, then that quite literally means it could not have been Taco Bell's lettuce at all. But yet there were all of these news articles coming out saying that it was linked directly to Taco Bell's lettuce and Taco Bell was in some way responsible. But that can't be if Taylor Farms received a false positive for their Cyclospora test, meaning that they weren't responsible. So if they're not responsible and they are the people who give their products to restaurants and retailers, then that means that the restaurants and retailers also wouldn't be responsible and also wouldn't have Cyclospora if Taylor Farms was found to not have it because of whatever false positive. But I just think it's really interesting how quickly the blame was put onto Taco Bell about this outbreak and about this parasite that's causing explosive diarrhea. But literally the people that they get their lettuce from were found to have a false positive for Cyclospora, meaning that they don't actually have that at Taylor Farms, meaning that Taylor Farms wouldn't have been able to send that to Taco Bell if they didn't have that, meaning that Taco Bell was never actually responsible in any way for this scenario if it was found that Taylor Farms received a false positive for the test of this parasite. So that's just insane to me. Like they actually owe Taco Bell an apology. And I know it's not that serious, but like that's weird. They put the blame on Taco Bell and made it this big story about Taco Bell being, responsible for this outbreak with the lettuce. But if the people they get their lettuce from received a false positive, that means that they don't have Cyclospora at Taylor Farms, meaning that Taylor Farms could never have sent Cyclospora lettuce to Taco Bell, meaning that Taco Bell never had it and Taco Bell was never responsible. Like that's some weird shit, honestly.
So this microscopic parasite is about 8 to 10 micrometers wide. That is about 1/10 of the width of a single strand of human hair. So Cyclospora has been around for millions of years, evolving right alongside humans and other primates. It's a single-celled organism in a group called Apicomplexa, which also includes the parasite that causes malaria. Basically, it's a part of a family reunion where everyone is a terrible house guest. So the next question is, how did this little menace end up on your lettuce? So now we're about to get into the gross part. Cyclospora only reproduces inside of humans. When an infected human has diarrhea, they shed thousands of eggs called oocysts in their poop. Here's the crazy part. Those eggs aren't infectious yet. They have to spend days to weeks outside of the body maturing in the perfect climate. They need that warm, humid environment, maybe in soil, maybe in water, before they can infect another person. This means you don't usually catch Cyclospora directly from another human. Instead, if irrigation water, wash water, produce fields come in contact with contaminated human waste, those maturing oocysts can now stick to lettuce, basil, raspberries, and because they're so microscopic and sticky, they're really hard to get off. So sometimes just washing your salad won't do it. Congratulations, Caesar salad has just become a trust exercise. Now, once you swallow that mature oocyst, they get right through that stomach acid and head straight to the small intestines. They invade the cells lining your gut, They multiply, they burst out, they invade some more. Your immune system sees this invasion and goes into full panic mode. The lining of your intestines become inflamed and damaged, making it difficult for your body to absorb nutrients and water. And this is why most people report that violent watery diarrhea. We're talking cramps, nausea, weight loss, fatigue, enough bathroom trips to make you question why you even had a salad in the first place. Now here's the wild part. Cyclospora doesn't actually benefit from making you miserable. The diarrhea is actually your immune system and your damaged intestines reacting to the infection. The parasite just wants a place to reproduce, and unfortunately your digestive system is collateral damage. So scientists are now using DNA sequencing and global surveillance to track outbreaks to specific farms or growing areas. Since the outbreak can't technically multiply on lettuce, every outbreak points to one thing. At some point in the human supply chain, human waste contamination occurred. So here's more information on Cyclospora and what you can do to stay safe and stay knowledgeable and informed about what's going on in the world. And as always, nature is absolutely unhinged. It's unhinged, but it is for everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. It's always appreciated. And as always, thanks for rocking with me and stay safe.
We have a possible source for the explosive diarrhea caused by cyclosporiasis. I'm Dr. Frida, and I'll give you that update. According to the Michigan Department of Health, it is believed that a source for Cyclospora is likely lettuce and salad greens. No particular supplier or producer or location has been cited, but in general, based on interviews and research, it looks like one of the common sources of the infection is lettuce. Now, you are not being advised to stop eating lettuce. However, it is being recommended that instead of buying prepackaged lettuce or prepackaged salad kits, that you consider buying whole heads of lettuce where you outright remove the outer leaves and then wash the internal leaves. We know that washing fruits and vegetables alone will not get rid of Cyclospora, but it can help to decrease the parasite load. The only way to actually kill the Cyclospora parasite is to heat it to at least 158 degrees Fahrenheit by boiling or baking. Be sure to check out my previous videos on Cyclospora where I explain the parasitic infection in detail. It is estimated that there are over 3,000, possibly over 4,000 cases of Cyclospora in the United States. You might see a mismatch in reporting because the CDC only reports 843 cases. Here's why we have the mismatch. There have been major governmental cuts on the CDC surveillance of pathogens. Prior to July 2025, Cyclospora was one of the pathogens that had active surveillance by the CDC, USDA, FDA. However, after budget cuts, we no longer have active surveillance over Cyclospora, which means that in many cases, the numbers that you're getting from states are more accurate than the CDC numbers. Michigan alone reports at least 2,640 cases of Cyclospora and 44 hospitalizations. Ohio has reported over 360 cases of Cyclospora and at least 46 hospitalizations. Remember, if you develop symptoms like the explosive diarrhea, bloating, nausea, and you suspect that it could be Cyclospora, contact your doctor immediately. For more updates and evidence-based medical information, I'm Dr. Frida. Please be sure to give me a follow and subscribe.
All right, so unfortunately, a lot of you, including some of my close personal friends, have been catching this parasite bug that's been hiding out in a lot of our produce. I'm going to show you this simple remedy that can help you if you do happen to catch it, okay? We're just going to start out with a spoonful of honey. Simple enough, right? Then we're going to add a little drop of black seed oil. All right, next we're going to add some turmeric. And lastly, some black pepper. Then you're just going to take it to the head. Now, if you did get hit by the bug, I just want you to take 1 spoonful every morning, okay? Until you heal up. And if you're not sick with that little parasite bug, I want you taking this at least once a week for a preventative measure, okay? You got this. Stay strong, heal up strong, and keep on going, my friend.
If you want to avoid the Cyclospora outbreak connected to Taylor Farms, Taco Bell is not the only restaurant you should stop eating at. Here's a quick list of 11 restaurants that Taylor Farms supplies: McDonald's, Taco Bell, Chipotle, Burger King, Subway, Pizza Hut, KFC, Olive Garden, Red Lobster, IHOP, and even Denny's. These restaurants receive salad mix, iceberg lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and various fresh produce. Taylor Farms has not published a complete customers list, and the contracts may change over time. Supply contracts often vary by region, distribution centers, seasons, as well as product availability. This also means that not every restaurant listed carries the Taylor Farms brand. It is perfectly okay to ask a manager from any of these stores where they receive their supplies from and the source. Lastly, speaking of restaurants, a lot of people have been wondering why all the foods at different restaurants taste the same, and that is because Cisco is a major supplier to these restaurants. So if you'd like a breakdown on that as well, just let me know in the comments and I'll get right on that.
What exactly is happening in America? Okay, so y'all already know that I'm a plant-based mama here. We eat plants, no animal products. Okay, cool. One of the reasons why we eat plants and not animal products is not because we want to be the healthiest. Of course, we want to be the healthiest, but also it's because of all these bad things that they're putting in the meats. Yeah, but in America, a chicken drumstick would literally be like a 6 months old 6 months old baby's thigh, if that makes sense. So, okay, cool. We then switched to eating plant-based. Now we are fully plant-based. We don't eat any bad stuff. Only for them to tell us that now we can eat any produce. We can eat vegetables. We can eat lettuce. We can eat carrots and all, vegetables. And then I'm asking myself, why are we even here? Like, what are we supposed to do at this point? Because everything is bad. The meat is bad. The plants is bad. At this point, what are we supposed to eat? Because everything is here. They manipulate with everything. Everything is bad. At this point, I guess it's alcohol. It is. Because again, let me tell you something. Water is a problem. Two, you literally cannot drink water from your tap in America. You have to have filters, or you have to buy store-bought water, which also is not okay because they store it in these plastics, and plastic is not good for y'all. Everybody knows that. And then you ask yourself, well, what are we supposed to do? Alcohol it is, I guess. This is a long video, I'm sorry, but also while at that, we live in a HOA community where we're not even allowed to grow our own food. And I'm like, at this point, I guess let's just go ahead and dip out of this world.
Thousands of people across the US are falling ill from a parasite that's causing severe diarrhea, and investigators are still trying to find the source behind it. So let's get into it. So health officials in the United States have been investigating this growing outbreak of Cyclospora, a foodborne parasite that has sickened more than 1,000 people across more than 30 states. So what do we know about it? Well, the illness is known as cycloporiasis, and it can be caught by drinking contaminated water or eating fresh produce such as vegetables and fruit that have been contaminated with feces that contain the parasite. See, now experts have gathered that foods like leafy greens, fruits and vegetables are usually linked to the outbreaks, especially if they haven't been washed properly. However, the good news is that if you cook these things thoroughly, you can kill the parasite. However, the bad news is that most people are not cooking their fruits. So, there's still a little bit of a problem there. So, people that are infected with Cyclospora usually experience severe watery diarrhea, stomach cramps, nausea, vomiting, fatigue, and usually a loss of appetite. So people, you don't have to worry about buying your Ozempic anymore. You don't have to worry about weight loss. I'm sure that Cyclospora will deal with it for you. And that is a joke I tell. Unlike typical stomach bugs, it usually takes up to a couple days or weeks to find out if you've been infected with the illness. So, while officials are still investigating the source behind the parasite, officials have advised people to please thoroughly wash and clean their food, especially if they're being eaten raw. Also, it's just put some people's minds at ease. Anybody that is worried that the illness might come over to Europe or the UK, the parasite is usually found in tropical or subtropical countries. So for people in the UK, anyone that does get it is usually linked to summer travels abroad, because the illness is found in places like Central and South America. So if you visit those places, then there's a higher chance of catching it. But for the time being, there is no link to the illness coming over to the UK right now. So yeah.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Now, before we wrap this thing up, there's one important thing that I don't think anyone should ignore. I mean, this outbreak is not just another headline that comes and goes. Because the same outbreak, for some people, it can be deadly. The risks can be much greater than they appear. For other people, yes, it can be like any other disease that you can fall sick and become, normal. You can recover. But for other people, it's beyond that. So, I mean, think about older adults. Think about pregnant women and young children. And think about people whose immune system is weakened. I mean, just look at that. These are people whose bodies may have a much harder time dealing with the severe diarrhea, dehydration and the complications that can follow. That's exactly why many health professionals are encouraging people to take this situation, to take this outbreak, more seriously. While investigators continue working to identify the exact source of the outbreak and how to prevent it. Now, throughout this video, we saw doctors, health professionals, and other Black creators sharing several suggested ways that may help people lower their risks. By the way, these suggestions are meant to encourage caution, not to panic or to spread the fear mongering. That's not the thing, but just to encourage caution. People should be vigilant, people should take it seriously. So let's quickly go through some of the most common advice that kept coming up throughout the video. Number one, many people suggested choosing frozen fruits and vegetables whenever possible. Now this might surprise some people, because frozen foods often get an unfair reputation. But several speakers explained that commercially frozen fruits and vegetables are usually harvested when they are ready, then fresh frozen very quickly to preserve their quality. So people are suggesting that frozen means it was taken while it's fresh and it may be okay to eat. They also pointed out that frozen produce has not commonly been linked to previous Cyclospora outbreaks, and that doesn't mean frozen food can never become contaminated. That also doesn't mean that, but many of the people discussing this outbreak felt it could be a practical alternative while the investigation continues. Some even suggested cooking frozen vegetables before eating them, adding another level of protection, just an extra layer. So I don't know, but that's a suggestion. Number two, cook your vegetables whenever you can. Now, this was probably one of the most repeated suggestions in the entire discussion, because several speakers explained that the proper cooking can destroy, it can destroy this Cyclospora parasite, instead of relying only on raw salads. Okay, because we know some fruits, some vegetables are delicious when they are eaten raw. Okay, we're talking of salads, but they encouraged people to steam, to boil, or to roast, and otherwise cook vegetables whenever it makes sense. And of course, it may sometimes change your experience of eating it, because if you loved to eat it as raw and now you are eating it otherwise, maybe it can change. But maybe for the time being, until maybe this outbreak is proven to be over. Okay, so they also reminded viewers that the cooked vegetables still provide valuable nutrition. So eating healthy doesn't have to stop simply because there's concern about the fresh produce. Even if when you cook it, it's still healthy. Number three, wash your fruits and vegetables really carefully. Don't just do it as if you are rushing. No, take your time, wash it well. Now, almost everyone agreed on this point, even though several people acknowledged that washing alone may not completely remove this Cyclospora. They still stressed that thoroughly rinsing produce remains an important step. So take your time, rub the surface, rinse your corner and clean produce as carefully as possible before eating it. And some creators also talked about vinegar and baking soda. Others pointed out that the research has not clearly shown these methods eliminate the parasites. But their message was simple: don't depend on home remedies alone, but don't skip washing your produce either. Okay, just have to take it seriously. Don't just wash it as if you are rushing to eat it. Take your time wherever possible. Remember, these are just suggestions that these people are sharing. Now, number 4, peel fruits and vegetables whenever you have like the chance, you have the opportunity. Now, in the video, several speakers suggested like removing the outer skin from produce that can safely be peeled where possible. So they were giving examples of foods like, carrots, cucumbers, potatoes, sweet potatoes, apples, and the similar fruits and vegetables were mentioned as well, that you need to take it seriously whenever you're eating it. Now, the thinking behind this suggestion is that removing the outer layer may also remove contamination. Okay, may remove if parts of it have been contaminated. Okay, that was still the suggestion. The contamination that may still be on the surface. And again, this was presented as a suggested precaution, like I say, not a guaranteed solution. Number 5, consider buying whole produce instead of like pre-cut or pre-packaged products whenever practical. Because there are moments where people would love to buy, what's that? This fruit, watermelon, when it's cut, it's just cut. So that one is not what they're recommending, that, it's not okay. One medical professional in the video specifically recommended buying whole heads of lettuce instead of packaged salad mixes. Okay, the suggestion was to remove the outer leaves. Okay, wash the remaining leaves thoroughly and prepare them yourself. You don't know who handled that. You don't know. So while this cannot guarantee complete safety, it was shared as one possible way to reduce, exposure during the current investigation. Now, number 6, pay attention to your health and don't ignore symptoms if they seem to appear, if they seem to surface. If you are feeling something, if you develop, severe watery diarrhea, stomach cramps, nausea, bloating, fatigue, loss of appetite, all those things, or symptoms that can, continue, several days, don't simply hope they will disappear on their own. Just think that, okay, this is just maybe in 2 days. No, you need to take it seriously. You never know. Remember, every problem, okay, is easily dealt with in early stages. Okay, so every disease can easily be dealt in early stages before it's too late. Okay, there are moments when you go to the hospital, they'll tell you that, if you had come last week, this could be solvable. If you had come, this sort of time, which means you allowed the problem to grow up until it reaches a stage where it cannot be solved that easily. So several doctors encouraged people to contact a healthcare professional, especially if symptoms become severe. Okay, just do it. You never know. So that advice become even more of the important one for the pregnant women, for older adults, young children, and anyone living with the weakened immune system, because dehydration and prolonged illness can become much more serious for these groups of people, for these vulnerable people. But at the end of the day, the goal is not to scare people, like to scare to what's that, to fearmonger people. No, it's not about that. But it's just a way to allow people to be informed, okay, not to scare people away from eating healthy foods, because that's also a problem. When you're not eating healthy foods, that's also a problem. But the goal is to stay informed, make that thoughtful decisions, and follow practical precautions, while health officials continue searching for the exact source of this outbreak, like the exact prevention, the exact way to deal with it whenever, let's say, you catch it. I don't know whether you catch it or it catches you. Let's discuss in the comment section which one, you catch it or it catches you. So healthy eating is too important, and nobody wants to fear to replace good nutrition. But be informed, paying attention to food safety, and taking reasonable preventive steps can all work together. You never know, can all work together. Hopefully investigators will soon identify exactly where this contamination started, allowing consumers to have greater confidence in the food they bring home. And until then, staying updated with reliable health information, preparing food carefully and washing them well, it can help. And keep watching what people are saying for the updates, for the symptoms. We don't know. Now, I would like to hear from you. Have you noticed anything recently? I mean, recent food contamination reports or outbreaks change the way you shop for groceries, prepare meals for yourself. I don't know. So let's discuss down in the comment section. Do you think more should be done to strengthen, food safety inspection, or do you believe consumers also have a bigger role to play in protecting themselves? I hope, yeah, they really do. Don't just buy it. So yeah, share your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's keep it respectfully, because yeah, a conversation like this, they help people to be informed. What exactly is your experience about this? What do you know about this? If you found some value in the video, please don't forget to like, to subscribe. Remember, we talk about racism issues. Okay, we're not healthy channel issues. We don't talk about that. So if you're interested in racism issues, especially talking about black excellence, all those things, then you are home. Subscribe. Otherwise, see you next time, and I'm proud of you.